Congratulations on the purchase of your Valencia guitar. My name is John McCarthy, and in this program we're going to go through a range of techniques for learning to play guitar. This DVD, like all Rockhouse DVDs, comes with free online lesson support. Go to the DVD's main menu to find out how to log on and get connected. Grab your guitar and get ready to have some fun, because we're going to be playing some music. Before we get started with any playing, I'm going to tell you the parts of your guitar. I'm going to go through them right now. The guitar is broken down into three main sections: the body, the neck, and the headstock. Now on the body of the guitar, we have the bridge. And this anchors the strings into the body of the guitar. The round hole here is the sound hole, and that's where the sound of the strings will project out of and will resonate off of the wood. This guitar actually has, it's electric, so it has an EQ built on the top. And there's also a volume here, bass, treble, and it's like a small EQ there for the sound, and you plug it into the bottom here. Now off the body, there's the neck. And on the neck, they have these metal bars. These are called frets. This would be the first fret, second fret, third fret, as you go up. Most classical guitars don't have dots on the neck. And this one didn't, but I put the numbers on here so that when I start showing you different chords and exercises, you'll know exactly where my hands are. But the guitars that do have the dots, they're called position markers. And they're usually on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and even 12th frets. Now at the very end of the neck, we have this, which is called the nut of the guitar. And this guides the strings off the neck onto the headstock. Headstock, this is where you'll find the machine heads or tuners. And this you turn left or right for each string to raise or lower the pitch of it. Alright, so these are all the different parts of the guitar. Oh, one last thing. This guitar has a cutaway on it, and this enables you to get to the higher frets easy. A lot of acoustic guitars won't have that, and it will be a mirrored effect of this down here. So make sure you know all the parts of your guitar now before we get started. Alright, now I want to go through the proper way to hold the guitar. Now your right hand or picking hand should rest on top of the body of the guitar and drape over the strings, almost parallel with the bridge. Could be tilted a little bit. Your left hand, here's a good way of finding the proper technique for holding the guitar. Your left hand, hold your hand straight out in front of the guitar, curl your fingers in with your wrist completely straight. Keep your hand relaxed and your arm relaxed. Go straight back to the guitar, put your thumb in the middle of the back of the guitar, and you're going to curl your fingers down to play the notes. So just like that, and then into the guitar. Should be a really comfortable pose. Now there's two different ways that we're going to approach picking the guitar. One is going to be using the fingers, and one you could actually use the pick to play. Now traditional classical music does not use a pick, it uses the fingers. And there are international picking symbols for each finger. The thumb would be P, index would be I, the middle would be M, and the ring finger would be A. P-I-M-A. Alright, and when you're going to pick a note, you're going to drape your wrist over the strings, and you're going to be with little small strokes. Don't make your finger go way back, just little tiny movements. That's how you're going to be approaching. We're going to go through a little bit more in depth the way to attack each of the strings as you're picking them. But I want you to get the proper posture set up right now. So the neck should be tilted up a little bit. It's like that. The thumb in the back of the neck, the hand curled around, the other hand draped over the top. So you're ready to pick the strings. Now, I'm holding the guitar right now in a conventional way. Now, for classical players, a lot of classical players, they would hold the guitar on their left leg, and they play like this. Now, both are correct. You got to see which one you feel most comfortable with. So you can hold it with the left leg, on the indent right there, or you could hold it on the right leg. Like I said, both of them are correct, so you got to see which one you feel most comfortable with. Now, A lot of times you want to raise your leg up a little bit, and I use a little footstool that you could use to raise your leg up a little bit, or you could put a couple books there. But it seems a little more comfortable usually when your leg is up higher. All right, so make sure you have a comfortable position with holding the guitar. Make sure you're holding it correctly, because you don't want to have any bad habits from the beginning. This will ensure that you progress fast and effectively through the program. All right, now if you choose to use the pick, let me show you the proper way to hold it. And what you'd want to do is put your thumb in the back of the pick, your index finger goes right in the middle of it. You don't want to have too much pick showing because you won't have control of it. Right about like that. Keep your hand opened. I like to keep one finger or two fingers at times on the body of the guitar to help gauge my pick as I'm picking. And it's really easy to strum with the pick. So that's the proper way of holding the pick. All right, now I'm going to go through exactly how to use your fingers to pick the strings. Now the international picking symbols are P for thumb, I for index, M for middle, A for your ring finger. And that's how we're going to reference them in this program. All right, I'm going to have you do a simple exercise with open strings to learn how to pick the strings and attack the strings. Your thumb is going to hit the fourth string. And what you want to do with the thumb, you're sort of using the side of your thumb. You're not going to come straight in like that, because then it will be hard to get the rest of your fingers on it. You're going to use the side of your thumb. And then the other ones we're going to pick up. Index fingers on the third string, middle's on the second, and then the ring finger on the first. Now when you're attacking the strings with your index, middle, and ring fingers, you don't want to have huge, big movements where they come way up or like that. You want to have little tiny movements. So watch this as a little exercise. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go through that and try to build up some speed and coordination with your picking hand. Now one last thing is, where you pick the string, closer to the bridge or further away from the bridge, could affect the sound. Listen when I pick it closer to the bridge. It's a little thinner and sharper sounding. You get it over the sound hole, it's a little bit more full and bassy toned. So at times in songs you might want to pick some notes near the bridge and some over near the neck to get different types of tones. So experiment with that as well. All right, before we start any actual playing, I want to make sure you're in tune with me so you can play along. Now there's a couple different ways that you could tune your guitar. You could use a pitch pipe, and you blow into each one of these, and it has a tone that you got to match with your string. It has one for each string. So that's one way of tuning your guitar. An electronic tune is probably the most accurate way to tune. And you could go to our website, rockhousemethod.com, and there's a tuner there that you could download to help you tune as well. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick each string, and I want you to turn your machine head left or right to match the pitch of each of my strings. So we'll start with the sixth string, the fattest, or the E string. Fifth string, or the A string. Fourth string, or the D string. G string, which is the third string. Second string, which is B. And then the first string, which is E. Now you should be in tune. Let's do some playing. All right, right now I'm going to show you how to read chord charts. Now we're going to use these charts to learn chords, and the chords we're going to use to be able to play songs with. Now this chord chart is a diagram of the guitar neck itself, as if the guitar neck was standing up and down from floor to ceiling. Now, the line going up and down furthest to the right, that is going to be your first string. To the left of that, the second string, third, fourth, fifth, and all the way to the left, that's going to be the sixth string or fattest string. Now, the dark line that's across the top of that chord chart, that's the nut of the guitar. All right, and then the other lines going from left to right down are the fret bars. Now, the dots that are on the strings themselves, those are where you're going to be placing your fingers. This first dot here is on the fourth string, and it's in the second fret. Now, if you look directly below that dot, there's a number. That tells you what finger you're going to use to play that with on your left hand. Now, your left hand fingers are numbered 1, 2, 3, and your pinky is the fourth finger. Now, this second dot is on the fifth string. It's also in the second fret, and if you follow that one down to the bottom, you're going to be using your second finger to fret that note with. Now, all the other strings have zeros beneath them. That means that when you're strumming this chord down, you're going to be hitting those strings open with no fingers on them. If there was an X beneath the string, that means that you don't hit that string at all. It's muted or not struck. So make sure you know how to read this chord chart, because we'll be using this through this program and all the following programs to come. All right, here we go, your first two chords. We're going to do an A minor and an E minor chord. Let me show you how to finger these chords right now. For the A minor, your first finger is going to go on the second string, first fret. Your third finger is going to go on the third string, second fret. And your second finger is going to go on the fourth string, second fret. On this chord, we're not going to hit the sixth string. We just hit it from the fifth string down. Here's how it sounds. Okay, now the E minor chord. E minor is going to have your third finger on the fourth string, second fret. And your second finger is going to be on the fifth string, second fret. On this chord, all the notes are sounded, so we're going to start from the sixth string down. Here it comes. Now when you're going to fret the notes, you want to use the fingertip, and you want to try to get as close as you could to the end of the fret, which is the one towards the right. If you go all the way to the left, it could sound fuzzy. You might have that kind of sound coming out. But as you get to the end of the fret, it cleans up. Try to use the tips of your fingers, because if you tilt them down, sometimes the back of your finger could mute other strings underneath it. So here's the E minor and the A minor. Work on these chords, practice changing from chord to chord. The next section, we're going to put them to a little progression. All right, are you ready? We're going to play a progression right now. We're going to take the two chords we just learned, the A minor and the E minor. I'm going to show you a picking pattern for them, and we're going to make it into a progression. At the end of this section, I'm going to play it over a bass and drum backing track. And you could even get these backing tracks from the website. You could burn them to a CD, and you could play it over at home. All right, let me show you the first chord, A minor. And you're going to pick 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And the way you're going to pick that is with your thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is called an arpeggio. An arpeggio is when you pick the notes of a chord out separately. So this is an arpeggio. All right, we're going to do that once. Then we're going to go to the E minor chord. Now, if you look at my hand, my left hand, I pick my first finger up from the A minor chord, and I move the second and third fingers up one string towards the ceiling. That's the E minor chord. It's really simple to change from A minor to E minor. On this chord, we're going to go 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. So here it is together. And she goes back and forth with those two. All right, here's what it's going to sound like with a bass and drum backing track. All right, now you could also do the same section using a pick. And you would just pick those same strings as you're doing with the fingers. 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And it's going to have a more bright tone. Here it is. All right, so try it both ways. Try using your fingers, try using your pick, and try to get proficient with both techniques. All right, let's learn some more chords. I'm going to show you 3 new ones right now, starting with the E major open chord. Follow with me. First finger goes on the 3rd string, 1st fret. Your 3rd finger goes on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And your 2nd finger goes on the 5th string, 2nd fret. In this chord, there's no dead strings. Every one is hit. So here it is from the 6th string down. All right, next chord is going to be an A major open chord. This is going to have a bar. And a bar is when you put one finger flat across more than one string. In this case, your first finger is going to lie flat in the 2nd fret over the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. On this chord, we're only going to hit the 4 middle strings, 5, 4, 3, and 2. The 6th and the 1st have X's beneath them, so we're not going to strike those. Here it is. Notice I'm playing it near the end of the fret, pressing down really hard. A major open chord. All right, and the last one I'm going to go through with you is going to be the D major open chord. 2nd finger goes on the 1st string, 2nd fret. 3rd finger goes on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And your 1st finger goes on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. On this chord, the 6th string is X'd, but the 5th and 4th are open. So we'll strum it down from the 5th string down. D major open chord. Now if you don't get all the notes to come out sounding perfect in the beginning, don't worry. As you keep practicing, they'll get better and better. In the next section, we're going to work on a progression using these chords. right, let's work on another song progression. We're going to use the three chords we just learned, the E, A, and D major, and put it into a pattern. All right, so the progression is going to go E, A, D, A, using all the major chords. Now, let me explain something for a second here. The difference between the minor chords, like we learned, the first two, the A minor and E minor, and these major chords. The minor chords have a sad or melancholy tone, whereas a major chord has a happy, bright, or royal sound. Minor and major. And people use these chords to write songs and create emotions by putting a minor chord or a major chord in certain spots. All right, so this chord progression is going to be using all major, though. It's E, A, D, A. Now I'm going to show you the picking pattern I want you to use, starting with the E chord. It's going to go 6, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. And the fingering is going to be thumb, index, middle, index, ring, index, middle. And it's going to use that same pattern for each of the chords, the fingering. So it's 6, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. The A chord, the same pattern, but starting with the fifth string as the first note. 5, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. And same exact fingering with the right hand. On the D chord, it's going to go 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3. Same fingering on the right hand as well. And then it goes back to the A. All right, here it is all together. All right, now I'm going to play it over a bass and drum backing track. And again, remember, you could burn these, download these backing tracks and burn them to a CD and practice with them at home. It's a lot of fun. All right, here it is. All right, now if you're using a pick, I want to show you a strumming pattern that you can use to play over that same bass and drum backing track. All right, what we're going to do is each chord we're going to strum down 8 times. Now when you're strumming, it moves more from your elbow. All right, let's try it with the bass and drum backing track. Here it comes. All right, now let's do a picking exercise. In this picking exercise, you're going to do a sequence with your right hand. And here's how it goes. It's going to go 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. And it's go thumb to the ring finger, and then index to the ring finger, and then middle to the ring finger. This is going to help you develop coordination with your right hand. Now you could also try this with some of the chords, like if you want to hold down the D major open chord. E major open chord. It's just another way of developing some coordination with your right hand or picking hand. Now if you're using a pick, the same picking exercise could be used. What you'll be doing is you hold down, let's hold down the D chord again. You're going to go 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. Now the only thing I want you to concentrate on if you're using a pick is using alternate picking. So we'll go down, up, down, up, down, up. And it works on any chord. Alright, so work on these picking exercises and let's practice them. 5 minutes a day is a good amount of time to practice them for, and it will really help develop the coordination of your picking hand. I'm going to show you 3 new chords right now. We're going to learn the C, F, and G major chords. Alright, the C major chord starts with your first finger on the 2nd string, 1st fret. Your 2nd finger goes on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger goes on the 5th string, 3rd fret. On this chord, the 6th string is not hit, it's X'd, so we hit it from the 5th string down. C major open chord. Alright, let's go to the F major open chord. Your first finger is going to bar across the first 2 strings. And here's a little trick. I want you to use the left side of your finger, and that allows you to tilt your hand out a little bit. And that will help you to go straight down with the next 2 notes. Your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret. The 5th and 6th strings are both X'd on this one, so we just hit the first 4 strings. F major open chord. And the last chord I'm going to show you right now is a G major open chord. It's going to be a 4-finger chord. Your 4th finger goes on the 1st string, 3rd fret. Your 3rd finger goes on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Your 1st finger goes on the 5th string, 2nd fret. And your 2nd finger goes on the 6th string, 3rd fret. We hit all 6 strings. Very popular chord, the G. So our 3 chords are C, F, and G. Practice these chords hard. Alright, here we go, another progression. I'm going to show you a technique where you play more than one note with your fingers. Alright, the progression I'm going to use, let me show you the chords first, is going to be G major that we just learned. A new chord, which is C suspended 2. Sounds really difficult, but all you have to do is take your 1st and 2nd fingers and move them down 1 string towards the ground each, and that's the C suspended 2. Don't hit the 6th string when you strum it though. And then we're going to go to a D major open chord that we learned previously. So G, C suspended 2, D. That's the 3 chords of the progression. Now what I want you to do, hold the G chord down. With your thumb I want you to hit the 6th string, and then I want you to put your ring, middle, and index fingers on the first 3 strings, and I want you to strike them at the same time, pull them up. And then we're going to move to the C suspended 2, hit the 5th string, and then the first 3 strings up. Do that twice. And to the D open chord, we're going to go 4th string first, and the first 3. Do that twice. So the first one's 4 times. Now, you could build up speed gradually as you go through this, and you could separate the notes. But there's plenty of times in songs that you're going to have to hit more than one note together. So I want you to practice hitting all three together too. All right, now if you're using a pick with that, I'm going to show you an alternate strumming pattern that you can use. So hold it, and I want you to do it down, down, up, up, down. That's the strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down. Pivot from your elbow. Down, down, up, down. Twice in a row on the G. Then go to the C suspended 2. Just once on that, and then a D once. Try to keep your arm and your shoulder really relaxed as you're playing this through. All right, now I'm going to show you how to read tablature. Tablature is what you're going to use to play leads, riffs, and play entire songs with as well. A lot of people get tablatures from off the internet, so learning this is a very crucial part of your playing guitar career. All right, now if you look at the tablature chart, it's a series of 6 lines going from left to right. The top line going left to right is going to be your first string or skinniest string. The second string's beneath that, third, fourth, fifth, and the bottom line is the 6th string or the fattest strings. All right, the number that is on the string itself is going to stand for the fret that you play the note on. This number means that you're playing the first fret, and it's on the top line, so it's the first string. If you look directly below that number, there's another number. That number stands for the finger that you're going to use to play that with. This number here is the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. This number here would be the 7th fret of the 4th string. And that one you would use your 3rd finger to play with. Now on the bottom it tells you little symbols that are going to be used as you're reading the tablature. The H is for hammer on, P is for pull off, S is the arrow pointing up is slide up, S is the arrow pointing down is slide down, R is for right hand tap, and B is for bend. Now we're going to be going through these techniques as we go through the program. So make sure you have a firm understanding of how to read tablature, because it's going to be crucial to know how to read this to get through all the different programs. All right, now that you know how to read tablature, let's go through a finger exercise to help build the coordination of your left hand. It actually works your right and left hands together as well. All right, it's going to start with your first finger on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and you're going to go 5, 8, 7, 8. And that's going to be with your first finger, your 4th, 3rd, and 4th. And you repeat it 4 times. Now, you notice I'm using my index and middle. We're going to do that same thing down each string. 2nd string. Now build up speed gradually as you're practicing this. Something that you might want to use is a metronome. A metronome is a device that clicks at an adjustable rate, and it helps you to gauge your progress. You can start it at 88 beats per minute to begin with. Maybe the next day you go to 90, then 92, and then small little baby steps you build up speed. All right, so that's a picking exercise, a finger exercise, and it will help build the coordination of your left hand. Now when you're first doing it, if you can't really stretch out all the way to the 8th fret, Don't worry, your hand will open up more as you keep practicing. So keep at it, keep working at it, and your hand will open up as you keep practicing. Now, if you're going to use a pick to play that, do the same exact coordination, 5, 8, 7, 8 with the left hand, but you're going to use down, up picking with the pick. Down, up, like a pendulum motion. I want to show you a blues progression right now. We're going to be hitting 2 notes exactly at the same time. In tablature, when 2 notes are on top of each other, you strike them both at the same time with the pick. It's going to have your first finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and we're going to hit the 5th string open with that. And hit that twice in a row. And then we're going to put your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, hit the 5th string open still, twice in a row there. So it's that's the pattern. Now you notice I'm not going dun 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 dun. I'm going dun 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 dun. That's a syncopation. That gives it that swing or shuffle feel that the blues is famous for. So it's do 8 times. And then we put your first finger, move your first finger down to the 3rd string, hit the 4th string open. Do that 4 times. Back down to the 5th and 4th strings, yes. 4 times. Now to the 5th and 6th strings. Your first finger's on the 5th, the 6th string is open 4 times. And the last measure is back to the 5th and 4th strings 4 times. Here it is all together. Now, a cool thing about the blues is you can play it at any tempo and it will sound good. I could play this really slow and watch. Or I could play it real fast. So it works at any tempo really well. All right, here's how it's going to sound with the bass and drum backing track. All right, now I'm going to show you a minor pentatonic scale. It's also referred to like a blues rock scale. It's a 5-note scale, penta meaning 5, minor pentatonic scale, tonic meaning note. It's going to start in the 5th fret with your first finger. Follow with me as I play. 5th fret of the 6th string, 8th fret of the 6th string with your pinky or 4th finger. On the 5th string it goes 5, 7 with the 1st and 3rd fingers. 4th string 5, 7. 3rd string 5, 7. 2nd string 5, 8 with the 1 and 4. And then the 1st string is 5, 8. So here it is again. That's the A minor pentatonic scale. Now, you could use this scale to create leads and melodies. I'm going to show you how you could use it over that blues progression we just learned. I'm going to have it go on with bass drum and rhythm guitar, and I'm going to play the scale over it and show you how you can start creating melodies. Here it goes. Just play it through forwards and backwards first. Now I'm going to start making up melodies. Now, a couple of things you'll notice. I was bending some notes, which is a lead technique, pushing a note up. I was also using a vibrato where I shake the note. Vibrato is a common technique used in classical or in blues music. A lot of blues players, famous blues players, pride themselves on their vibrato, making the note sound like it's singing. So those are some techniques that you could try to mess around with a little bit on your own. But I want you to basically get the idea of the scale and how you could use that same scale to make up melodies and leads. All right, right now I'm going to show you a C major scale. C major scale is better known as the mother of all music because everything is born from the major scale and formed from that. I'm going to play it through. I want you to play it along with me. And then I'm going to have a backing track played and show you how you could create melodies with this scale. It's a great scale to start creating melodies with. All right, it's going to start with your 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the 6th string. It's going to go 8, 10. And I'm using like a finger per fret system here. So my 1st finger's lined in the 7th, 2nd finger's lined in the 8th, 3rd finger's lined up in the 9th, and my pinky's lined up in the 10th. So it's 8, 10. Next string is 7, 8, 10. Next string is 7, 9, 10. 7, 9, 10 on the 3rd string again. The 2nd string goes 8, 10. And then 7, 8 on the 1st. Here it goes backwards. Okay, so that's the C major scale. Now you could use the scale, like I said, to create melodies and make up little riffs. I'm going to put the progression on now. I'm going to show you how it will sound when I start making melodies up with this. Here it goes. right, so have some fun, get creative, and start using this as a creative tool. All right, now I'm going to show you a classical piece, Canon in C. All right, it's going to start with a C chord, and the picking that we're going to use in this is going to be, the bass note is going to change for different chords, but the sequence after that will be the same for every chord. It'll be that 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So for the C chord, the bass note's going to be 5. So it's 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, next chord is going to be G. The bass note's going to be 6, and then 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Going to A minor, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. E minor starts with a 6. F, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. C has the 5. Back to F. And then G with the 6. So here it is together. One more time through. Here we go. All right, now we're going to do House of the Rising Sun. I'm going to use a picking technique again that has the 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 with the varying bass notes. Starts with an A minor chord. Here it goes. C has the 5th string bass note. D chord, D major, 4 with the bass note. And then F, A minor is the 5th string. C with the 5th string, E major with the 6th string bass note, twice in a row. A minor, C, D major, F, A minor, E major, A minor. So again, here it goes. And you can vary your picking if you want to try to make up your own picking patterns. I'll just do a random picking pattern. Watch. Going to be having a lot of fun. So, you know, by just creating your own method, your own patterns, it's going to make it a lot more interesting, a lot more fun for you, and it'll be more creative. Now, if you're using a pick, you could do different picking strumming patterns for this. Let me show you a strumming pattern for a pick now. And it's going to go down, down, up, down, 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 down. We'll do that for every chord. And again, you can experiment with your own strumming patterns. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the program. We covered a lot of ground and went through a lot of techniques. If you don't have everything down perfectly, don't worry. Take your time, practice consistently, and you will get them down. Make sure you take advantage of the rockhousemethod.com support site. It will help you and guide you through all your lessons. And I hope to see you again someday soon. Alright, you may have broken the string, or after you play for a while, your strings could get a little corroded and you need to change them. It's not a major catastrophe. It's pretty easy to change the string. It's a little more challenging on the classical guitar than the conventional guitar because you have to actually tie it in at the bridge. I'm going to go through it right now and show you how to do that though. Alright, I took the string off of here because I didn't have one broken. But you unwind the string, the regular classical strings, put it through the hole. You're going to bring the string back and under where it originally came in. And then I'm going to go over, under and over 2 or 3 times so we can really secure the string into place. There we go. Pull it tight. Alright, and then once we have that done, it's secured there, we go up to the headstock of the guitar. You push the string through the headstock. And we're also going to twist it around up here a little bit. Show you how that goes. So I make it so they have a fair amount of slack that we can wind around, like maybe about that much slack in there. And then I'm going to twist it around twice. And I'm going to start turning it to tighten it. So I put my finger on it there so it actually holds it into place. Keep turning it. Now these strings, the nylon strings, stretch a real lot. But I'm going to show you a good way to make it so that they doesn't keep going out of tune. I like to listen to it as it's getting put on. Now what I do is I take the fingers, put them on top, and I push my thumbs out and go all the way down the string. And that usually gets all the play out of the string so it doesn't stretch out for the next few days as you're playing. Alright, and now you have a string that's on the guitar. Now you could cut the excess or tuck it, some people tuck it underneath the other strings here. And you could clip this at the very end as well too, the excess string. And you're ready to go again. So, like I said, if you break a string, don't worry, your guitar is not broken. You could get a new string at any music store and put it on. I'm sure that they'll even, if you have a lot of troubles putting on, they can even help you out with it.